All right. What's up, guys? It's your boy Friday, and this is officially the second episode of the Friday Special Podcast. I'm your host, 1K Friday, aka 1K, aka The Visionary, and today I'm joined with my guest, Anastasia. You can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Anastasia. I'm a licensed realtor in the state of Colorado. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, today, we're just gonna be asking a couple questions. It's gonna be free conversation. Make sure you guys stay tuned to the next episode, episode 3. I'm gonna be filming that soon, so make sure you get at me. Also, I'll make sure to put her. You want your social media in there or no?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll put her social. It'll be right there, right above her head. So got you. All right, so we're gonna be talking about a life story a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, how about you tell us like where you're from and everything?
Well, I was born what I like to call evil Russia. um, it's just because of the social media perception and all of that. I've lived there until I was 15 years old, and then I moved to South Korea. And I've attended like a language school there. I joined university. I graduated. So overall, I've lived in South Korea for about 10 years. So it's definitely like a big part of who I am as a person. And then I met my husband, and I ended up being in the States. Yeah.
Okay. For those of you who have not been overseas, go, get that passport today and go. I've only been maybe a couple places myself, but I would definitely say going overseas, like and traveling and stuff like that, is like definitely like it like really like expands like your mind and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Um, you're a licensed realtor in Colorado, so like what do you if you had to say like you like something like or like what is like the best part of your job?
The best part of my job is definitely helping people, helping them to navigate towards the home ownership. Because for a lot of people, for first time home buyers, it's a very confusing process. I remember when we moved to the States and we were buying our house, it was a very stressful process overall. And what I want for my clients is not to have to experience the same thing that I've experienced when I was buying my first house. So that's pretty much my favorite part, helping people, making their life easier, and actually for them to actually look back at the whole process and to be like, wow, this was not as scary as I thought it would be, not as nerve-wracking, and I'm glad I've made that investment into my future.
Definitely. So like first people that are like especially like people like younger people like that are trying to get a house, like what do you feel like is like the most like frustrating part about that?
For young people,
Like trying to get like their first home and stuff like that. What do you feel like they should like avoid, look out for?
I would say for young people, what to avoid is listen. Some people, they do the research on social media. And
Definitely.
yeah, and although I do try to educate people when it comes to home buying process through my social media, there's a lot of misinformation, and a lot of people have this scarcity mindset, and I would say connect with someone who knows what they're doing, who've gone through this whole process themselves, and listen to their advice. Right now, I would say the biggest hurdle for not only first-time home buyers, but for everybody is interest rates, because interest rates are now at basically 8%, and the last time interest rates were at 8%, it was in 2000s. So a lot of people think, oh, now home ownership is not attainable for me, and there is no point for me to even try. But in reality, there are a lot of options for those new home buyers or people who just want a new house, right? Let's say they want to downsize or get a bigger house because the family is expanding. There are a lot of options, and they do not have to deal with this 8% problem. I mean, I don't know if you want me to go into solutions, or we can talk about it later.
Yeah, definitely. Um, I know you remember I wanted to be a realtor myself, but that's like I don't think people really know, like, being like a realtor, like, it's kind of hard. Yeah, it's definitely like really hard. I did a pretty decent amount of research into it, and like most people that get their license like don't really like last like long term doing it, because like it just isn't like, cupcakes and rainbows like what they show you like on Instagram and stuff like that. Like I know you can make good money doing it, but you gotta like really like be committed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know you like are pretty committed to like your job and stuff like that. So like what would you say is like the hardest part about it though?
The hardest part, I would say the fact that no one, I think a lot of younger generation who get into real estate, they get into it thinking it's going to be like selling Sunset on Netflix, you know. You're just looking good and showing beautiful houses, but the reality is not that. No one is going to give you clients. No one is going
Yeah,
to
definitely
introduce
not.
you to people. You have to put yourself out there. And because your results literally depend on how much work you put into it, you literally have to commit to it. It's a 24/7 thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes this morning I replied to a message at 7 a.m. A lot of people, they have boundaries, not like they're not like me. But right now that I'm growing my business, I don't mind, putting those extra hours and doing extra work to build trust with people and yeah, to build my business.
Yeah, definitely. That was another thing that I realized like when I was getting into doing it, also one of the reasons why people like kind of like fail doing it is because it's like it's a business.
Yeah.
Like you are a business, and you're kind of like gotta sell yourself in a way, um, to people, and like I remember. So my first job was Foot Locker, and I
Cool.
remember selling shoes. Loved that job. Honestly, I would have stayed there if it paid better, but yeah, it wasn't. So but that's when I had to move on to bigger and better things. But yeah, I remember they would teach us there like 80% of like people that say they're coming back to buy something like don't. So like you have to like sell like right then and there, and then if they buy some shoes, you gotta sell them some socks. Like if they buy some socks, you gotta sell them like the spray, a T-shirt, a pair of shorts, like everything. Like sell all the way until they get out of the door, and like it's hard, but like it was fun in a way, in a very competitive type of way, like going against like me and my other coworkers. Is that like how it kind of is when like you are trying to like there's other, because obviously there's other like agents like in the area, so like is there like this competition like between all of y'all?
Um, there is, yeah, in real estate, there's so many realtors, right? I feel like everyone knows at least one realtor in their life. I would say a lot of people compete. I personally, I only focus on what I can do to better my business. I'm not focusing on anybody else's success because they say comparison is a thief of joy. And
Yeah.
if I start comparing myself to others, I might as well just go back to my room and do nothing.
Yeah, definitely.
And I like what I do. As I said, I'm not in it to make ton of money right away. Hopefully it will come later on. I'm in it to organically grow it by building relationships with people and truly having them have a great experience through this whole process with me. So then they can come back and recommend me to their other, sphere of influence.
Yeah, I think that you sound very passionate about what you do, which is a good thing. I feel like, to me, helping people is like the biggest form of like satisfaction that you can get. Like, is better than it's the best fulfillment that you can get, like, from doing something. Like, I that's why I wake up every day, is because, you know, the thought of helping someone, or just saying something that could inspire somebody, or help them, or make them see things in a different light, really is what pushes things like on. So yeah, if you had to say like any like adversities you face, like being in the profession, like what would you?
Um, I would say I would say a few.
Mhm.
Number one, first of all, I am sort of quote unquote a foreigner, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I have accent, so when people see me, that's like number one thing that kind of scares them. Some of them might, I assume they might think, oh, she doesn't know really much about, let's say, this state and so on. So that's number one. Number two is that I'm not a 60-year-old white man,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a suit that's been in the industry for 20 years. And that's another thing. I've heard on the phone someone told me, "Oh, you sound like you were 20 years old." I'm, and I'm like a year from being 30 years old, right? So it's a bit frustrating. But other than that, I feel like when people get to know me, if they're open to getting to know me, then kind of all of these concerns kind of dilute, and people are more open to working with me, and people actually enjoy working with me.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, obviously, people, you see somebody, and then, or you whatever, and then you have like this, people have like these
Preconceived notions.
yeah, preconceived notions
Mm-hmm.
about like what or who you are and stuff like that, and like you kind of have to like brush that off, and like it's really it's hard in a way to I can see how it could be like really hard to get over that, like get to the point where it's like, all right, like you can't try me anymore, like I know what I'm doing, like type of thing. But then again, there's probably always gonna be like somebody that's like, oh, I'm gonna go with somebody else because, whatever reason. But I mean, you can't compare yourself. I myself try hard not to compare myself, and it's hard, like with social media and stuff like that, um, and being on there and seeing this and seeing that, to like sit here and I just sit here and I'm like, all right, well, that's what they're doing. Like, this is what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's gonna like what I'm doing. Not everybody's gonna like be on board. Even with this, like, not everybody's gonna be on board. Not everybody's gonna like every, you know, episode or whatever that gets put out. But I'm still gonna like put it out. Like, I'm still gonna like do me. I'm just gonna do my thing, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like, it's about what's best for me and what's working out and stuff like that.
Yeah. You're not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But there are going to be a lot of people who are going to find you specifically interesting and different from other people. Yes, there are a lot of people who are established on social media, but then everyone is watching them. And sometimes I personally, it gets boring, it gets repetitive. But to hear someone who is in the same kind of, who is living a life that's closer to what I'm experiencing day to day, it's a lot more fun to watch those people, at least for me, because we can relate to those people. So I think you definitely should keep on doing what you're
Yeah,
doing
most
now.
definitely. Relatability is like extremely, like, that to me is like the key. A lot of times people like look at like their flaws, or like look at things that like they might do differently, or things that's wrong with them, or whatever the case, or things that they've been through, and they feel discouraged about it, or they feel like they're not as good as someone else. But like everything that you're going through, like everything that you experience shapes who you are, and
Yeah.
it shapes your level of relatability. Like everybody is going through something. Like no one's alone. If you're going through that, you will be able to relate to somebody else, and it's about like being relatable. Like nobody wants to be or watch, around. No one wants to hang around or be around somebody that like you can't never relate to anything that they're saying. Like if I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, like
Yeah.
I just bombed this test, or I just failed at something, and then this person's like, yeah, I've never failed at anything. It's like, all right, well, forget you. Like,
Yeah, good for you, right?
yeah, good for you. Like, meanwhile, I'm over here struggling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I love it though. Like the grind, the struggle, like every step of the way, like even in everything that I do. So like I don't know if this is gonna like go anywhere or do anything, but either way, I do it because I really like enjoy this. Like I've been talking about doing a podcast for like it's been a couple of years. Not a lot of people know that, and when they see this, they may or may not get surprised by me saying that, because I recently just started talking about it like aloud. But I've been talking about it, or I've been thinking about doing this for like a while now. A couple years back, I have a friend named Turner. Me and him talked about doing a podcast, and just talking about like real stuff. And when I get home, I'm actually I need to hit him up so we can do something. But like I've been trying to like do this for a while, but it took a while for me to like. It's hard to like put yourself out there.
Yeah,
Like it's really
absolutely.
hard to like put yourself out there. Like even being in front of this camera right now is like, yeah, yeah. It's still kind of awkward like
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
but eventually I'll get used to it. The same way I'm starting to get used to hearing my own voice. If you've ever listened to yourself talk, which I'm sure all of you have, you know how it feels like to hear yourself, or at least for me, like when I hear myself talk, I'm like, yeah,
Same. Absolutely.
yeah, it's very cringy.
Yeah.
So, but
It's the hardest thing to start though. And you've made that step. You started.
yeah,
And a lot
definitely.
of people, their dreams stay their dreams in their head.
Yeah.
And I think the same if anyone ever decides to go into real estate or start any business venture, right? Unless you start and put yourself out there, things are not going to happen by itself.
Yeah.
You have to actually create things, do something, right?
Yeah.
So,
What made you like want to get like started like doing real estate?
so since I was young, I've always liked art, and
You said art?
art, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I joined an art school when I was in middle and high school, and I went there for 7 years to learn how to draw.
Oh, wow.
And my mom, ever since I was a child, was telling me that I should go into architecture, which I loved the idea back then. And I ended up studying architecture in university, and somehow I graduated, and it was really hard. I respect that career, that field, but one thing that a lot of people don't realize, I guess, or no one tells you about architects, they sit in front of a computer most of the day.
Oh, really?
And yeah,
I didn't
you
know
sit
that.
in front of the computer, you design. You do not design, actually. You design what the head architect tells you to design. So you're basically doing 3D modeling on your laptop, working on floor plans and so on. So you're sitting at the desk all day long. And to me, I realized it a little bit too late, I guess, when I was in my third year in university. So I decided that, it's not for me. So I still graduated. I have a bachelor degree in architecture, but I thought, okay, I cannot sit at a desk. I literally will go crazy. I like to talk to people. I
Yeah, I'm
like
the
to,
same way.
yeah, I like to be hands-on. And when I moved to the States, I decided that, well, I have this degree in architecture, so I know buildings, I know construction to a certain degree, and I've also, when I used to live in South Korea, worked in sales.
Oh, okay.
I worked at one of the biggest medical tourism companies in Seoul. So I did really well, I would say. I was really good at that. I had to negotiate price of the procedures with hospitals and so on. So that really helped me to, first of all, learn how to negotiate. My boss was brutal. He, he wasn't Korean, he was Canadian, but he really wanted us to know how to sell, how to negotiate, and just be the best version of yourself you can be in that field. So I just decided to combine this sales experience, negotiations, and architecture, and I thought real estate is kind of where it's at. Plus, it doesn't require me to always sit at the desk, even though a good amount of time realtors do sit and write contracts and so on. So basically, that's how I ended up in real estate.
Yeah, I definitely feel that part about the desk thing. I hate sitting still. Even now, I'm not sitting still. Like I'm always doing something with my hands or
Yeah.
my feet or something. So like, no, that's not for me. I like to be like hands on, and plus like I'm like slowly like narrowing down the field in which I'm like entering into. I still want to like dabble in real estate and stuff like that. Maybe in a different way than I have been, but still like have like I still want to do things with it. Like I don't want to just throw it away. Maybe just not be a realtor, but I like networking and meeting people, and like this is something that's like really new. Cause I haven't always been this way. I'm still kind of like a bit bashful in a couple ways, but still like just putting myself out there. But yeah, I'm also going to school for marketing, so
Nice.
that what you're doing is like that's like kind of like what I wanted to like get into, but yeah,
What do you mean by that? Real estate, you mean?
like
Or marketing?
marketing, real estate, that type of thing. Back whenever I first had spoke to you about doing it, I feel like I'm still trying to find my way. Like I know I think about like this like I have like this wedge of like of a direction in which I'm going, and all like I tell my friends and stuff like that, like ones that like I talk to and encourage, because I got friends back home that like I communicate with them and stuff like that. I'm real close with the people at home, especially like the ones that like are actually my friends, like not the ones that yeah. But I always tell them like to have that wedge of like where you want to go, especially if you like are struggling to figure out what you want to do with yourself, like because I'm 23 and I'm still like I got that wedge, but you gotta like narrow it down to the point where it's like, all right, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm going, and like doing this is definitely like a step in the right direction for me. So
It's funny that you said still because you're only 23, you know. And when I graduated, I think I was about 23-ish. I was scared. I was extremely scared because I was like, "Oh my God, I got this degree, right, overseas, and I spent 5 years studying architecture. And now I'm making a decision not to pursue that thing that I've been working so hard towards." I think one of the things I've learned personally is that don't be afraid to pivot and to explore different fields, because you're not going to know what you're good at or what you like doing until you try those things and until you do those things. I think they say average age of a CEO is like in the 50s, you know. So you have plenty of time to figure out what you want to do, what you're good at.
yeah.
And some people even decide to work in the field that pays well and then use that money to support their hobby. I think that's also okay. Not everyone needs to be that super successful 20 plus something year old CEO that's making millions. I feel like
That's facts. That's
social
facts.
media is creating like false narrative.
Yeah, that's facts. Definitely, definitely a lot of false narratives. Like being 20 years old and being like this big millionaire or having your own house or having this or having that, it's definitely it's like you look at those people and it's like that's like amazing, but then
Yeah.
it's like you look at yourself and you're like, man, like I need to like get the ball rolling, but at the same time it's like I'm on my journey, like they're on theirs. I had to constantly remind myself that cuz just recently so I graduated high school in 2019 and it's 2023 now. So most of the people that I went to high school with like graduated college and like have degrees and stuff like that. Me, I don't, and I see them graduating and stuff like that, and I'm just like, man, like they got their degrees, and they're about to, walk into whatever. But I had to constantly remind myself, like that it's just like I'm walking my own like path,
Exactly,
and
yeah.
it's not all about um, it's not all about having everything at once. Yeah, having everything at once and getting like everything now. Like that's also somebody telling myself like it doesn't have to happen now. Like
Yeah,
even if
yeah,
it takes like months, years,
yeah,
a decade,
yeah.
too. As long as I stay diligent, like I believe that anything can happen, and that goes for everybody. Especially you guys watching. Um, if you just stay diligent and stay consistent and stuff like that, I believe anything's possible. Like, anything's possible.
Yeah. I think we're used to instant gratification
Mm.
because, you can get on DoorDash order, food is here, right?
Definitely.
You want to know something about someone, you get on, I don't know, Instagram or Facebook, whatever, and you find that information out. That's not how life unfortunately works, or fortunately. Like we have to learn how to enjoy the adventure and figuring things out. And your friends that you mentioned, right? It's wonderful that they all got the degrees, but some of them will find themselves at 35 or at 40 years old, and they will realize, oh my God, I just worked for somebody else for so long, and I've never given myself a try to start something on my own. And then they are gonna feel like I'm a loser or whatever. But they're not a loser, you're not a loser. Everyone is just living, as you said, following their own path.
Yeah, I really like what you said about the instant gratification. Uh, Digressing just a little bit off of that. So for 6 months, I went to the gym 6 days a week, twice a day,
Wow.
like for 6 months straight. And when you're working out, anyone who knows anything about working out, especially when you're like trying to improve like your physique working out, because some people work out for strength, to run farther, different stuff. But when you're working on your physique and stuff like that, it teaches you the art of delayed gratification. Like, because it doesn't matter how much you want, like, the results, like, they don't come. Like, I worked out every single day, twice a day, and I looked in the mirror every single day and I saw absolutely nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. But I just kept telling myself, to keep, like, literally out loud to tell myself, like, keep doing what you're doing. Like, keep doing what you're doing. Like, because I knew that, it would pay off.
Yeah.
As a result of doing that, like, I got stronger and faster, than I've ever been, having that discipline. Like, I unlocked a new level of like discipline in my mind. So definitely for y'all, like, learn the art of like delayed gratification, because not everything has to happen like right now, even though you want it right now. Like, listen, I be wanting it right now. Like, DoorDash, shout out to DoorDash. I be wanting it right now. Like, when I order my food and it says like 35 minutes, it be getting on my nerves because I want it right then and there. But you gotta wait, especially for something that's like worth it. Especially for something that's like really like worth it. Wait, like, good things take time. Perfection
Yeah.
takes time and stuff like that. So, um, if you like for the next like stage like of my life, like, I'm gonna try to make sure that I keep reminding myself that. And I might have to, like, lately I've been thinking about actually deleting or hopping off of like social media for a while, just to like get like a mental detox from it in a way, just because seeing it every day, like, or hopping on it and scrolling and stuff like that, not only does it waste my time, but it's like really like draining.
Do you know that nowadays you can put a limit? Like you can go on your Instagram and you can put a limit of how much access you have to it per day.
No, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, my phone, I don't know, like, you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like on Sunday, I don't know if it does this on anybody's phone, but it'll like pop up your
Stats.
yeah, your stats for the week, and it'll show you how many hours of like screen time you had.
Yeah.
And one time I looked at it and I had like, I forgot how many hours it was on Instagram and something else in YouTube. And I was like, man.
Right.
It's like it shows you how much time you're really like wasting. Like, and I have a lot of free time. Like, I try to fill up my schedule because I feel like I have like more free time than like what I than what I need, honestly. So I'll be trying to like really like keep myself busy and stuff like that. I know you're like super busy.
But I'm also one of my weaknesses, right, is I don't know how to turn off my brain. Like I always need to be doing something, and it's not always a good thing. I feel like it's great to learn how to, relax. But when it's time to grind and work, I love it. I enjoy the whole process, and I don't know. There is a book. I'm not sure what's the name of it, but I've read it when I was like a child, and it said something like "eat the frog first," meaning do the hardest thing first thing in the morning. And I love that. I try to get all of my hard tasks out of the way first in the first part of the day, and then I do something that doesn't require that much mental power, capacity, whatever. Yeah.
I definitely so when I wake up in the morning, I try to because I wake up kind of early. Some people might think it's early, some people it's like regular. But I wake up at 4:30 every morning.
Yeah, that's freaking early.
Yeah, I used to not be an early bird. Like, I used to get up every day at like 12. When I was younger, I used to get up at like 12, like 1. But then it's like you sleeping for that long, like, and even some of my friends now, like they'll hear what time I wake up, and they're like, "Man, that's early." But I'm just like, I be telling people like I have so much like day, like I'll get so much done, and then look down at I don't have a watch, but I'll look at my phone and then realize like, man, it's only like 11, like
Yeah.
10, 11, and I've already gotten like everything I need done. So, but then that's where that free time comes in, because I'm like, man, like I don't know, like I gotta figure out like what to do with all this like time, and that's kind of how like this was born, like because I'm like, all right, well, I really like I've been wanting to do that for a long time, and that first podcast, episode 1, like it came about because I walked in his room and he was sitting there and we were already talking about something, but then I was like, you want to do a podcast? And he was like, yeah. And then we just, bam.
That's a supportive friend. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. We just threw it together, because he was feeling how he was feeling, and then like I knew like him, and his name's Keem. Me, Keem, and Ja, like whenever we're sitting around talking, like we always have deep talks and stuff like that. And I value like deep talks a lot. Like, I mean, like it's good to like have fun and stuff too. Like I'm all about the fun and stuff. But like those deep talks, because I like when things are said like that you can really like hold on to, and like, man, like that really like stuck with me. Like I want this podcast to be, maybe not every episode be all serious and stuff like that, because yeah, but for the most part, I wanted it to be like a gold mine. Like when you watch something or when you read a book, you don't remember everything that you read in the book, or if you listen to a podcast or whatever, you don't, or even in school, you don't remember every little thing. You just remember those little pieces of gold that you either heard or read or found along the way, and then you hear that and it's like, man, like that, like I'm gonna
Yeah.
hold on to that, like for the rest of my life, definitely. But yeah, I
It's like the same thing with the book I just told you. I
uh-huh.
do not remember the name of the book. I don't remember even what the whole book was about, but that specific phrase stuck with me for the rest of my life. And I use it up to this day.
Yeah. I want to say something real quick. Listen, if you have never spoken in front of a camera, it's hard. Like, don't be sitting here like, listen, this is hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like, sitting here talking in front of a camera, it's awkward, especially when you're not used to it. It's real awkward. So bear with me.
Don't judge.
Yeah, don't judge. Don't judge. If you get bored. But anyway, yeah.
I like that you came prepared.
I tried to, but I really didn't. Like, this is like such a work in progress. Like, I'm trying to plan better, But I kind of just with every episode, like it's gonna be better than. I'm gonna try to make it better than the last in some way, shape, or form. That way, throughout the series or whatever, like these people that are watching, like you'll all be able to see like the growth that's happened. Everything from the conversation to the editing to the quality, everything. Cause yeah, it's kind of awkward like talking in front of a camera if you ain't never like done it. Like,
But none of those, those million subscribers, YouTubers, right?
yeah.
None of them just, posted one video
Oh
and they
yeah,
got
but
all of those subscribers. If you scroll down and you look at their first videos, they were not professionally edited. They were
yeah.
awkward on camera. The quality wasn't that great. But that's not the point. People who win in life, in my opinion, it's not the most talented people. It's the most consistent people who can stick to what they like, to their craft.
Yeah, definitely. That's like been my main thing is trying to be consistent with this. I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of hard,
I think you
because
have to be.
you have to be, even though it's. I love doing this. Like I ain't gonna lie, like I enjoy doing this, and I enjoy like setting up meetings with like people and stuff like that. Like I enjoy the thought of networking and like I don't know. I really enjoy this. Like so, even though I enjoy it, like it still is like a bit of a grind, because bumps come in the road. Like since I've had this channel, I've only posted one YouTube video, but my channel got terminated twice.
Why?
I don't know. It got terminated twice already. The first time was because
Did someone curse in there?
yeah, we did cuss a little bit, but that they wouldn't take down the whole. They took down my whole channel, and I had to. The first time it was because something was wrong with my Google account, but then I had to fix that. But then they took away the whole like account, and I had to like get that fixed. I'm not sure why, but yeah. And then setting up like the like meetings and stuff with people, it's a bit of a process because I have a lot of free time, so I work around, like your schedule, like or their schedule and stuff like that. So
I think you could, rather than limiting yourself to your friends only, you could also reach out to like local business owners and just like me, sit down with them, ask them about their story, because all of those people, they didn't just like have money and they build their businesses. I mean, some maybe, but
yeah,
I
definitely.
bet majority didn't.
Yeah, definitely. Because that's what I want to do. I want to hear people's story.
Yeah.
Like where you come from. Like what do you do? Like how did you become you?
And it's exposure for them as well.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah, definitely. Exposure on both ends. So I remember I was talking to I was talking to I was talking to your husband, and he was telling me about another podcast that you were gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Well, the one that I want to do is about real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually do also want to
Mm-hmm.
interview local business owners.
Mm-hmm.
Again, because you're helping them by bringing awareness about to their
Mm-hmm.
business, right? But also educate people on real estate and that how you can build wealth through that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of people, they just don't know this information. I was not following one realtor on social media when I wasn't in this industry because
Mm-hmm.
I just literally did not care. But once I started getting older, we obviously, all of us, we start thinking, okay, well, where am I going to live, right? How am I going to build some, passive income
Mm-hmm.
other than my job? Because if you're working for a company, you're disposable, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And even so, there's so many things that I personally, again, as you said, I'm very passionate about what I
Mm-hmm.
do. I want to educate people and help people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the podcast that I'm gonna do, probably with somebody, because I'm just very, very awkward on camera. The only thing
Mm-hmm.
that's helping me right now to keep on talking is not looking at the camera.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel that. I feel that. It is, like I said, it is kind of hard. It's yeah, but when are you? Did you already? Is that something you already started, or is that something like you're gonna?
I want to start it by the end of the year. Yeah. I'm also doing another
Mm-hmm.
thing. I want to tell you about it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you know someone who would be interested in it. So there's a great lender in in Colorado Springs,
Mm-hmm.
and him and I, we are doing a shoe drive. So we are reaching out to different business owners,
Mm-hmm.
and if they let us put like a box in their business or in their, let's say, restaurant or shop, we want for people to drop off their old shoes,
Mm-hmm.
and we will take that shoes, we will pay for recycling or for the shipping fee,
Oh wow.
and it's either going to be transformed into something else, right,
Mm-hmm.
recycled, or donated if it's in a good condition.
So like you're gonna like you go out to businesses and ask.
Yeah, so we did it last week and we got a couple of yeses. We want to get a couple of people to agree to that, a certain number, so
Mm-hmm.
we can order those boxes because it's also an investment. We are paying our own money out of
Mm-hmm.
our pocket, and we'll have to put labels on it and so on. But that's kind of our way to contribute to community,
Mm-hmm.
and also we will, in order for us to pay for these boxes, we will put our marketing information on it,
Oh
right?
okay.
So not only we get the exposure, but also we are helping people to, we are helping people who need shoes, right? We'll
Yeah.
donate the shoes and recycle the shoes that you would normally just throw away.
Mm-hmm. And this is going to like people like around like Colorado.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
we'll around Colorado Springs right now. We went to a couple of places downtown, and we'll go to a couple of places in the north of Colorado Springs. And those business owners, they overall so far had a great feedback. So I think it's hard to go into a restaurant and say, hey, who can I talk to about this donation box?
Mm-hmm. That's a really good idea though.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think if you are very passionate about what you do,
Oh yeah.
just put yourself out there. You said you have a lot of time,
Yeah, I do have a lot of time. Way too
right?
much time. So lately I've been really trying to like put myself out there and like ask people, hey, what you doing, blah blah. Um, as long as like I'm keeping like the value of the channel, then why not? Like
Yeah.
I'm hoping I can do another one this weekend. The goal is to like post. Well, the goal originally was to post every week. That's kind of hard.
No, you got it.
Uh, I definitely think I can do it. Um, I just need to work harder, honestly. Um,
Sometimes
Reach
you'll
out
need
to
to
more
get
people.
creative, probably.
Yeah, I think I do need to get a little more creative with it.
Because you can also do it on Zoom. You can record your Zoom call,
Hmm.
and post that. If you said you have a lot of friends that are
Yeah,
back in your hometown, right?
yeah.
You could get on Zoom with them and record that. So you
Hmm.
don't have to skip a podcast if there's no one like locally that you can interview.
That is a good idea. Definitely is a good idea. I can't wait till I actually get to fly home because then I can, like, I have a couple people here that I'm trying to do it with. And then when I get home, I have a couple interviews lined up to,
Nice.
you know, get those in there. Um, Especially, I'm trying to get it in as much as possible before I move and stuff like that. But yeah, um, I need to get me uh, like a like a camera for real. That way I can have like a screen so I can see myself and I can actually like know like what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up right there. If you made it to this part of the video, first of all, I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in to the Friday Special Podcast. I'm your host, Friday, aka 1K, aka the Visionary, here with Anastasia. Like I said, her social media will be right there. If you are in Colorado and you need a realtor, I'm telling you, this is your go-to. But all right.
Appreciate it.
Okay.